them and give each of them their due respect. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. This is like treated, the only meaning that the word walidain carries is the fact that they gave birth to him. That's it. That's the only meaning it carries. SubhanAllah. When I heard the response to this, I was blown away. SubhanAllah. They said, yes, you're right. You're right. It probably makes sense. If a human wrote it, they would say, SubhanAllah, if a human wrote it, they would say, and you must be very dear and perfectly righteous to your mother and your father. Your dear mother and dear father. SubhanAllah. The scholars, they say, do you know what? This word is the perfect word. Because what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, the fact that they simply were responsible for your birth is enough for you to be perfectly righteous to them, no matter what they do after that. SubhanAllah. Do you see that? Do you see? Every word, wallahi, is linguistically perfect. Is the perfect word to be used in that instance. Yes, of course, maybe it seems more emotional, but Allah is targeting something else. He's not giving a nice, pretty emotional statement. No. He is saying, wallahi, the fact that they gave birth to you is enough for you to be perfect to them. Is enough for you to enslave yourself to them. Even if they are not Muslims, subhanAllah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. It does not matter. You are to be very kind to them. وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. And lower to them the wings of humility and mercy. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. Do you see that? Perfect words. There are so many more examples, and had I had more time, I would have gone into them. But inshallah, I want to focus on the story of Musa, alayhi salam. But I hope the message came across, inshallah. Are there any questions about that, inshallah? No? So, understanding this, we can understand that not only is every word, if every word is perfect, then the nature of storytelling in the Quran is also perfect. You will notice, after reading the Quran many times, you will realize something. You will realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mention the same story numerous times, but taking different angles each time. SubhanAllah. And from far, this looks pretty jumpy. It looks disconnected, and it seems like there's no flow. But SubhanAllah, the one who can dig deep, they can see the underlying meaning. They can see the underlying chain and pipeline that connects all of those ideas. SubhanAllah. So, inshallah, for example, the story of Musa, which we are delving into today, inshallah. The story of Musa, alayhi salam, Moses, who is a raised prophet of Islam. He is one of the 5 superstars, if you may, ulul azmi min al-rusul. One of the 5 celebrities of Islam, right? Okay, 5 among all the prophets. Musa is one of the 5 big shots. Okay, and Musa alayhi salam, his name is mentioned in the Quran. Who knows how many times? 70 to 80 times, something like that. Okay, and Sayyidina Isa, who knows, around 25 times, 25, 30 times. Okay, and Sayyidina Muhammad is mentioned how many times? How many? No, not 25. I'm saying by his name, Muhammad. Just Muhammad. How much? Twice? 4? It's 4 times that Muhammad is mentioned, but with Ahmad it's 5 times. So Muhammad's name is mentioned 5 times in the Quran. Okay? SubhanAllah, and that tells you something, just that. The fact that Muhammad, the scholars, they even say, كَادَ الْقُرْآنُ وَأَنْ يَكُونَ مُوسَى. Like it is as if the Quran is all about Musa alayhi salam. Yes, sister.
What about Taha?
Taha, I will get into that. We are getting to Surah Taha today. Okay? Anyways, so, let me just delve into it right away, inshallah. So Musa alayhi salam, he is mentioned so many times, and inshallah we will delve into how the story was described in Surah Taha, in the chapter called Taha. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins Surah Taha. He begins this chapter, and it is called Surah Taha, T-A-H-A. Okay? And Allah begins the surah, and He says, Taha, Taha. Taha are 2 letters in Arabic, like Alif Lam Mim, Kaf Ha Ya Ain Sad, like Alif Lam Ra, Alif Lam Mim Sad, Yasin, Hamim, right? So the scholars, they differ to the interpretation of these letters. Uh, some scholars say, for example, Alif Lam Ra is part of Ar-Rahman, is the beginning of Ar-Rahman, which was continued by Hamim and Nun. So these letters are to make up the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other scholars, they say, for example, for Taha specifically, they say Taha comes from the word Ta'ha, Ta'ha, which means put your foot down on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is a verb. Ta'ha ya Muhammad. Ta'ha ma anzalna alayka al-Qur'ana litashqa. Ta'ha, right? Put your foot down. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Other scholars, they say these are just the letters of the Arabic language, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is challenging the Arabs and saying, these are your letters, and you believe that you know these letters, and you understand them. Okay? But bring something like it. It is a challenge. Understand it. Bring a definite meaning, a definitive meaning from these letters. And of course, they could not come back with a retaliation towards that challenge. SubhanAllah. So, Taha is one of the scholarly meanings, because the next ayah says, مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لِتَشْقَى. Muhammad ﷺ, we know that you are being hurt and your chest is squeezed by all the negative things that they are saying to you. They are calling you crazy and a liar and a sorcerer and a magician. Although you were the truthful and the honest and the trustworthy, subhanAllah, before them. SubhanAllah, we know that hurts, but just put your foot down, because we did not reveal the Quran on you لِتَشْقَى, so that you may be saddened or wretched or feel so burdened. We did not send the Quran to you to leave you in incapacitation. No. We sent the Quran to you to relieve you from the shackles of evil behavior, subhanAllah. That's why we sent the Quran to you. That's why. So put your foot down and do not pay heed to that. ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى. It is a remembrance to those whom have the fear in their hearts already, whom have that spark. Not necessarily a heart full of light, but at least the spark. That is why, subhanAllah, we should never judge. We never know. Maybe the spark is there in that person that you are judging. SubhanAllah. You see that? So there is a spark. Never judge. Maybe the spark is there. Right? Abu Sufyan used to fight against the Prophet ﷺ. When the Prophet ﷺ proposed to his daughter, he said, I cannot say no. I will never find anybody better. SubhanAllah. You see that? Sometimes the spark is there. Later on, Abu Sufyan becomes Muslim. You see that? SubhanAllah. مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لِتَشْقَى. And I really can't, I wish that I would be able to go through all the ayahs, but it's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. Anyways. So, مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لِتَشْقَى. We did not send the Quran to you as a means towards wretchedness or sadness or depression. No. We sent it not for incapacitation. We sent it for freedom. So when you read the Quran, it should not incapacitate you. It should not make you feel, if it makes you feel like you are being chained, then you have to look inside and you have to see what's going on. But if you feel like you can breathe after you read the Quran, then you're on the right track, inshallah. SubhanAllah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on and He starts to describe He starts to describe the Quran, the nature of the Quran. إِلَّا تَذْكِرَةً لِمَنْ يَخْشَى تَنْزِيلًا مِمَّنْ خَلَقَ الْأَرْضَ وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ الْعُلَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent it down. He's making it clear whom it is coming from. Right? So it is a reminder, a form of remembrance for those who have that spark in their heart. Okay? And who is it coming from? From Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. عَلَى الْعَرْشِ اسْتَوَى. And we will not get into this anthropomorphism argument. It's very long, not necessary. Okay? إِلَّا تَنْزِيلًا مِمَّنْ خَلَقَ الْأَرْضَ وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ الْعُلَى. Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. He has positioned Himself in a way that we cannot understand on His throne. SubhanAllah. What does that mean? That means everything is done. Everything is positioned, is in place, is perfectly calculated. SubhanAllah. عَلَى الْعَرْشِ اسْتَوَى. لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَمَا تَحْتَ الثَّرَى. And to Him, subhanAllah, He is again describing who He is. Do you see? We do not understand Allah by physical means. We understand Allah by His attributes. To Him are the heavens and the earth and what is in between them. When we were taking these verses with Shaykh Mukhtar Maghrawi, he was telling us, what does this mean, what's in between them? Is there a place where is there a spatial emptiness between the heavens and the earth? Nobody knows. Nobody can see, subhanAllah. What is in between them? It is not known. وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَمَا تَحْتَ الثَّرَى. Even وَمَا تَحْتَ الثَّرَى is not understood. Some of the scholars who say what's under the dirt. Okay, no. وَمَا تَحْتَ الثَّرَى. الثَّرَى is still not even known, subhanAllah. And then Allah moves on, وَإِن تَجْهَرْ بِالْقَوْلِ. If you say something loud or you say it to yourself, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it and Allah hears it. فَإِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْجَهْرَ وَمَا يَخْفَى فَإِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ وَأَخْفَى. Then indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the secret and what is more secret than the secret. What is that? The scholars say He knows the secret before it became a secret. That is what some scholars say. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, so Allah, what is Allah talking about now? He's talking about the Quran and who the Quran came from, so that's a clear connection. He's talking about the Quran, and then he's talking about who it came from and describing Himself. And then He says, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa lahul asma'ul husna. Then He says, Allah, this is Allah. La ilaha illa huwa, there is no deity worthy of worship besides Him. Lahul asma'ul husna. To Him are the most beautiful names. وهل أتاك حديث موسى? By the way, has the news, subhanAllah, has the tale of Musa come to you? Has it come to you? Remember, read the Quran as if it's coming to you specifically. Allah, the magnificent Allah, La ilaha illa huwa, lahul asma'ul husna. To Him are the most beautiful of names and attributes. وهل أتاك حديث موسى? By the way, has the name of Musa, does it ring a bell? Does Musa ring a bell? وهل أتاك حديث موسى? Did the news of Musa come to you? What is the connection? What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying here? What is He saying? He is saying here, indeed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the most beautiful of names and the most beautiful of attributes. And the only way, one of the ways you will understand His attributes is by looking at the expression of His names and His attributes that He just described, like dominion and like knowledge, subhanAllah, and power. All of that, maybe you will understand it if you look deep into the life of Musa that I will describe to you right now, subhanAllah. The story of Musa is an expression of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names, بِجَمَالِهَا وَبِجَلَالِهَا, in the beautiful names and in the majestic names, subhanAllah. The beautiful names like the merciful and the most beneficent and the gracious and the powerful, Al-Jabbar, Al-Muntaqim, subhanAllah. All of these names will be expressed in the story of Musa alayhi salam. وَهَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ مُوسَى إِذْ رَأَى نَارًا. He was walking with his family and he needed to go grocery shopping. Right? He needed to go out of the way. إِذْ رَأَى نَارًا. He saw a fire. فَقَالَ لِأَهْلِهِمْ كُثُوا. Oh my family, stay here. Stay here. إِنِّي آنَسْتُ نَارًا. إِنِّي آنَسْتُ. He didn't say إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ نَارًا. He didn't say I saw. That's why some scholars, they say the moment that he became a prophet was this moment. Because آنَسْتُ. He didn't say I saw fire. He says subhanAllah, there's not even a word in English to translate this word. آنَسْتُ نَارًا. Meaning, I have become exposed very close to fire. Al-Uns comes from the word Inas. Inas is a name that certain people name their daughters. Inas means to become close to, physically. Meaning a sense of closure, a solace, a comfort. Inni anastu nara. I have found comfort in a fire. You see that? He saw more than a fire, the scholars say. Inni anastu nara. He saw that. He saw that that wasn't normal. He saw that there's something here. There's something fishy. Subhanallah.